Hello, it's Monday, so it's book talk time. Today I'm going to start with the book that I enjoyed the most that I recently completed, this Iron Widow. We do have this in print in the library, but it's currently checked out, so if you want to put it on hold, let me know. I listened to the audio, which I think was the best for me, because a lot of the words are from Chinese language, and I would not have known how to pronounce those on my own. So hearing someone saying the names and saying the words in a way that I could comprehend without having to decipher it myself was very helpful. Iron Widow is a story that derives a lot from Chinese culture, and it's about a girl who, gosh, I don't want to tell you too terribly much about the world, but in this world there are these creatures that are attacking settlements, and people can take their shells and turn them into spirit metal, which they use to create these chrysalis things, which are not kind of like, it reminds me a little bit, I'm not trying to like minimize it at all, but a little bit of like Power Rangers, Transformers, whatever, but they call these chrysalises, and they're basically like kind of a little bit humanoid, kind of a little bit animal looking, not robots really, but machines that they can fly around in and use their life force, their chi, to power these different attacks. There's also a male-female yin-yang balance thing going on. I don't want to spoil any of the book for you, but anyway, I really enjoyed the world building. I really enjoyed all of the Chinese culture that was drawn in. I really enjoyed the main character the most of everything. The main character just was very direct and very powerful, and she was like, I'm going to do this thing, and then she went and did it. She was like, I think things are like this, and people need to know. I'm going to tell everybody. Like, she was just great. She was very refreshing. I wished I could have done nothing but read this book every time I was reading this book or listening to this book, and I knew I would be super sad when it was over, and I was. Left us on a big cliffhanger, so I'm ready for whenever the second part of this book series is going to come out. I will be there for that. So anyway, highly recommend Iron Widow. I don't know that I did a great job of explaining it, but really cool, Chinese-inspired sci-fi. The second book, one of the second books, this was probably my second favorite of the three that I finished this week, The Taking of Jake Livingston. We have two copies of this in print in the library. I read it on my phone. It's pretty short, and it's about a guy who can see and interact with ghosts. Okay, so at the beginning of the book, he is at school, and you're just kind of being introduced to the idea that he sees these ghosts in his environment, trapped in their little death loops, and then he sees one that is different. There's also a murder in his neighborhood. Again, I don't want to tell you everything about the story because then you won't have any reason to read it, but good ghost fiction. Sometimes I read things we have in our horror section and I'm like, this is not really scary at all, but it did a great job being creepy. And I'm not going to tell you anything else about it. Read it. If you like ghost stuff, you'll like this. Lastly, Moonstruck. Okay. Now, I was kind of disappointed in this book, and I don't really feel like it was necessarily the book's fault. I think it was me. I read a couple of other graphic novels previous to this one that I talked about before. Moonstruck, Snapdragon, Bingo Love. Absolutely loved all three of those. And then I read Moonstruck, and I was just kind of like, you know, like that feeling you get when you're really enjoying, like, saying, eating a chocolate cake or something. You have like 2 or 3 pieces of chocolate cake, and by the time you get to your 4th piece of chocolate cake, you're like, I don't want to eat any more chocolate cake for a minute. I'm kind of full. So, like I said, I think it was mostly me, but it's a fantasy comic. It's going to be in our comics section. And it's about this girl who works at a coffee shop. She's also a werewolf. And then she meets a girl who's also a werewolf. And then there's some other magical creatures. There's a centaur and some people stealing magic and stuff like that. And they've got it's relationships and, you know, recovering lost things. And like I said, anyway. I have three volumes of this. I'm not going to read the second one. Hopefully you guys will like this, and if not, tell me and I won't buy any more of the volumes of them. But anyway, there we go. That's all I've got for you this week, and I'll see you again later with a book talk next week, I guess.